The University of Chicago Law School is a place of ideas.
This is a place where you really have a first-rate intellectual exchange.
People want to learn, figure out what's going on in the world, why things are the way they are.
They want to study the law. They want to become enveloped by the law.
The education at law school is a foundation for success.
The University of Chicago Law School is getting the best possible students and educating them to really help solve society's problems.
Our society needs great ideas. It needs this next generation of leadership who want to make a difference.
The mission of the law school is to give a set of intellectual, analytical, argumentative, critical skills that will stand them in good stead no matter what they do.
There's no formula that we can teach people so that they are good lawyers. Instead, we teach them how to think rigorously and flexibly.
These classes have certainly shaped the way that I look at issues, that I approach problems, and reach decisions.
I will never say, what were the facts of the case? It's more complicated, more interesting. What if we change this fact? Does that make a different outcome? How would you argue that?
You can know the facts of the case, and you should know the facts of the case, but that's not going to be enough. You need to have thought about the reasoning behind it and the things that the judges aren't saying in their opinions, and what this means for the world and what this means for the day-to-day lives of the people who are affected.
It's about learning how to take it apart, put it back together again, make it more complex, imagine arguments that you wouldn't otherwise have anticipated.
Both the faculty and the student body is composed of critical thinkers, and there is an environment there that encourages innovative thought.
When you're here, you're someplace where ideas really matter, where people like to talk about them. This is the culture of this place. It's this emphasis on really wanting to learn that's inspiring.
U Chicago is a wonderful incubator of ideas and figuring out how all these ideas that seem diametrically opposed can work together.
It was the approach to problems that we learned here, which is you need to understand the motives, the incentives, the arguments of the other side extremely well, and ideally as well as you understand your own argument.
We're a law school that very deliberately tries to have a broad political spectrum on both the faculty and the student part. Bringing that all together means creating an atmosphere where people feel free to express themselves in a way that's civil and respectful.
I don't know of any other academic institution that has that culture, and it replicates itself.
Going here has given me the intellectual rigor to kind of argue with any idea in an effective way.
Here we're a big family, and everyone's curious about everyone else's ideas. My student research assistants are the best feedback people I have.
I have them edit my work, play devil's advocate against me, and they are invaluable to me.
And they usually give the toughest critical feedback, which is wonderful.
The faculty members at the law school are intellectual giants.
The faculty members publish in a way that is absolutely prolific.
Academic workshops are kind of Hobbesian state of nature where people scream at each other and interrupt each other, and it's fantastic.
To be a self-respecting member of this faculty, you not only have to take teaching very seriously, but you have to take scholarship seriously, you have to be productive, you have to be engaged, and you have to be a good colleague.
Interdisciplinary study has been at the core of the law school since its founding. Through extensive collaboration and dialogue with a host of other fields, such as economics, history, political science, and philosophy, we've brought substantial new insights to the law.
Economic models can be helpful for understanding how the law works. What I want to do is improve them a little bit.
Here, you have economists who really care about the real-world impact of what they do. That's not always true in economics, and you can learn a tremendous amount from them.
People who are serious about law and economics are attracted to this school. As a result, we continue to do the best law and economics scholarship.
Legal education is very technical, so to keep the imagination alive, we think about what difference does it make to the law if the lawyers think like philosophers? Because how you think about anger and revenge and mercy, that's very pertinent to how you think about the purposes of the criminal law. Those law connections are very much a part of my own writing on these topics.
I write because I want to affect the way law students around the country think, by the way law professors think, the way lawyers think, the way judges think. I have focused primarily in the realm of freedom of speech to understand what are the reasons for protecting freedom of speech, What are the limitations?
It's pretty incredible to sit in a class in constitutional law taught by Jeff Stone or David Strauss. Every class that you take at the university, you're kind of taking from someone very well regarded in the field.
The ideas that have come out of the writings of the faculty at University of Chicago have been very impactful on social and economic policy. They can change the world.
Lawyers lead this country, and I'm proud when I see our alumni in critical public service leadership roles, like Jim Comey heading up the FBI, Amy Klobuchar in the Senate, and Ambassador Jim Hormel advocating for human rights and equality. 2 of our former faculty members are on the Supreme Court, and 1 is the President of the United States. Public interest is a law school tradition, going back to Edward Levy and beyond, and it's part of our DNA.
Whether your client be the United States of America or a corporation, you really need to think through how it affects the public as a whole. It's really up to us to probe and make sure that we're doing justice by really fully evaluating the facts of the case. And my law school education helped me as a federal prosecutor because I learned that there's a lot of different angles to every single legal principle. And it's only when you start to be flexible in the way that you think about them that you can be a true advocate.
In creating my companies, I want to have an environment where the best idea wins. And I think that's definitely something you get from the University of Chicago Law School. It's really about having the best idea and being able to justify it.
It really is about learning how to think, to be challenged, learning how to present ideas, and an understanding of legal concepts, which no matter what I have done has been highly relevant. For me, the years at the law school were intellectually formative. It creates an incredible foundation.
What's really distinct about the education at the law school is rigorous challenge to orthodoxy. At Ventas, we've brought incredible problem-solving capabilities to our industry, helped change the landscape of how healthcare real estate investment trusts do business, and all of those things really came from my foundation at the law school.
When I think about what drew me to United Airlines, it was about the challenge, getting involved in an industry that is trying to remake itself. It's really all about innovation. It's about operating in gray space. It's about having the opportunity to resolve the most significant issues you can get your hands on. And education at the law school teaches students from day one to be courageous in the way that they approach solving problems.
The law school is one of the gems of the university. I think pound for pound, the best law school in the United States. We ought to continue that.
This country needs the University of Chicago Law School, whose scholars do work at the cutting edge of knowledge and whose students are trained to become the leaders of tomorrow.
What I see is smart people who have been armed with a special way to think about the world and think about solving problems.
I credit the law school with teaching me how to think critically, with exposing me to peers who had a greater depth and breadth of experience than I had, and to start me on my path to pursuing justice.
This place has given me so much.
Coming to the law school gives you time to really shape yourself.
We still have a common mission when we leave here. We still get to learn and figure out how to work together towards something greater.
The truth is, without the generous support of our alumni and friends, we would not be the University of Chicago Law School. And what enables us to be great is the fact that we have that generosity that lets us do the things that make us special and that make us who we are.
We need philanthropic support to attract and retain great faculty, to start new programs, to create pathways to public service, and to attract the most promising students to our law school.
We have to provide more opportunities for students. By doing that, we will perpetuate the greatness of the law school.
I give to the University of Chicago Law School because it is an education that really is unrivaled.
We support the leadership initiatives at the law school because the impact that that's going to have will be tremendous.
I give to the law school because it was the first place in my life where it was cool to be smart, and that was absolutely transformational for me.
I give to the law school because I believe the law school makes a difference.
Being a student at the University of Chicago is incredible and hard. I don't think I've ever worked harder than I have in the 3 years that I spent here, but I don't think I've ever grown as much or learned as much or had a more incredible experience. That is what makes you grow and what makes you develop into the person that's going to be able to take on all of the challenges in the future.